Hello. In this video, we will learn about a sample. A census takes information from each member of the population. A sample takes information from part of the population. To avoid bias, the sample should represent the characteristics of the population. The results from a representative sample can be used to make conclusions for the whole population. A sample that is selected unfairly or that is too small can bias the results. In general, the larger the sample, the more reliable and representative the results. The advantages of a sample are it's cheaper, it's less time consuming or quicker, there's less data to be considered and processed. The disadvantages of a sample are it's not completely representative and it may be biased. The sampling units are the people or items that are to be sampled. If you consider all the students in a school, then a sampling unit is one student. If you consider all the trucks owned by a company, a sampling unit is one truck. The sampling frame is a list of all the sampling units, a list of all the members of the population. If there is a poor sampling frame, maybe it's out of date or incomplete, or members of the population are counted more than once, it results in a poor sample, unrepresentative of the population or biased. A telephone directory is a poor sampling frame. Some people may not have a telephone or are not listed in the phone book. A good sample is as large as possible, is representative of the population, and uses a suitable sampling frame to choose the members of the sample. A poor sample is too small, is biased, for example, if it unfairly favours one set of values or one group of the population. If you only ask the people in the front row of a plane if the seats are comfortable, your sample would be biased. An unbiased sample would include people from different rows in the plane. Choosing the people at random, i.e. giving them all an equal chance of being chosen, will lead to choosing an unbiased sample. We'll see how to choose a random sample in another tutorial. People living in the same street would not be a good sample of the people in a town. It would end in biased results since the residents in one street are not representative of all the people in the town. Not everyone in the town had an equal chance of being chosen. Residents in one street may have similar interests, views, or opinions. The sample of one street in a town is too small to be representative of the whole town. In a random sample, every member of the population has an equal chance of being included. That means a random sample is fair or unbiased and better represents the population. Some populations divide into groups or strata, for example by age or gender. A stratified sample contains members of each stratum or group in proportion to the size of the stratum. The sample for each stratum is selected randomly. Selecting a random sample can be expensive, time-consuming and difficult. The methods of non-random sampling may be more convenient to use. We will look at these methods of choosing a sample in another tutorial. To recap, a sample takes information from a part of the population. It's cheaper, less time-consuming, and there is less data to consider and process. If not chosen well, it may not represent the population and be biased. A random sample gives every member of the population an equal chance of being chosen. A stratified sample keeps the proportions of groups consistent, and this sample from each group is selected randomly.